So we were blessed with another incredible Donovan Mitchell performance today against the Los Angeles Clippers. Or I guess technically by the time you see this video, it will be last night against the Clippers. And even though Utah lost by 26 points, my mic just like broke on me. So but anyways, even though they lost by 26 points, and even though Donovan Mitchell left the game early with I believe it was an ankle injury somewhere lower leg, he had an incredible game. He shot 11 of 24 from the field, 5 of 9 from three, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Like, he had an incredible game. He was probably the best player in the game again today, and that's like 7 games in a row that he's been the best player on the court for the Utah Jazz, and he's been easily the MVP of the playoffs so far. And the conversation has been growing about whether or not Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. The conversation has been growing as to where he actually ranks within the rest of the NBA. And off the jump, I think he's a superstar. I think he's the guy that if you're the Utah Jazz, you're going to be building around him for at least 10 more years. You're going to be, if it comes down to him and Rudy Gobert, easily it's him. If it comes down to him and anyone else for this franchise, it has to be Donovan Mitchell as the choice. And I think that's a really good spot for the Utah Jazz. A part of becoming a superstar, I think, is whether or not he's actually malleable with other guys that could play for the team. You look at other guys that we've labeled superstars in years past. Let's go ahead and look at guys like Kawhi. Let's go ahead and look at guys like Kevin Durant. Let's go ahead and look at guys like, just LeBron James in his career. Those 3 guys easily have been superstars throughout their whole career because of the fact that wherever they've gone, they've won. Wherever they've gone, they've been able to play practically with anybody and everybody and have that kind of success. I think James Harden is another guy that has to be in that conversation. Steph Curry probably is in that conversation as well. But, those are guys that in their career, they've gone from a point of they're really good to they're a superstar. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they went to different spots, not in Steph Curry's spot, but in everybody else's case, they went somewhere different, and it really, really worked because of how good they are and the fact that they're a superstar. And you look, it doesn't seem like anybody on Utah is lacking success. Rudy Gobert just won his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award. Mike Conley has been playing a lot better, even though he doesn't really play anymore for Utah. He has been playing well when he's actually played. Bojan Bogdanovic has played really well for the Utah Jazz up to, before last night's game. Royce O'Neal is a good player for Utah. Joe Ingles has played a really good spot. Jordan Clarkson came to this team a year and a half, or about a year ago, I guess now, and has played really well as the 6th man for this team. Derek Favors came back. He's played a really big role for Utah. Everybody that's on this Utah Jazz team is playing up to or above their capabilities. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Donovan Mitchell is so good that even though he's not going to have high assist numbers, and even in games, he could have high assist numbers, he's so good that it makes everybody else better, offensively and defensively. And that shows with the Utah Jazz record in the games that he has actually played for Utah this year. He's 6-1 in every single game that they've played. He missed the first game against the Grizzlies, and they lost. And since then, up until last night, they had won every single game that he has played. And not only had they have won every single game since then, he's been the main contributing factor in every single one of those games. Even games dropping 40 plus, close to 50 points. And like I said, it's not like anybody really is lacking success from this team when he plays. Mike Conley, it seemed like, was playing above expectations when Donovan Mitchell came back. Rudy Gobert, like I said, just won Defensive Player of the Year. Joe Ingles has been able to play. He didn't play great first round, but he's played all right this round against the Clippers. Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, a lot of these guys are playing really, really well. And a lot of it, like I have already said too many times already, is because of Donovan Mitchell. I think this is kind of what separates him already from names like Damian Lillard. This comes from somebody who, I don't know if I said it already, but I'm a huge Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard fan. For most of my life, I lived 2 hours away from the Moda Center. I would love to go to games and watch Damian Lillard shoot the lights out of the ball and be one of the best players in the NBA. But you compare what he does for the Trailblazers, you compare that to what Donovan Mitchell has done for the Utah Jazz. I mean, you can literally just look at the fact that Utah is playing right now and Portland is not. I think that really says something about where those two guys are at right now in their careers. I mean, the Washington Wizards probably had two top 25 players in the NBA this year in Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell really even has another top 30 guy. If you want to put Rudy Gobert up there, I would probably disagree with you, but if you want to, go ahead. But I think Rudy Gobert is definitely not in the same league when it comes to Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook. And Donovan Mitchell still led this Utah team to, at one point, they were the best team in the West. And right now they're the second seed in the West, and they're handling they're handling the Los Angeles Clippers. Even though they lost, they're handling this team. I still fully expect them to beat the Clippers in this series. And that's the part that I think separates Donovan Mitchell from other guys that are probably in or around the same tier as him, like Damian Lillard, like somebody like, that's kind of a weird tier right now. Maybe somebody like Karl Anthony Towns, who's expected to be this top 10 guy. It just never happens because he doesn't contribute to winning for the Timberwolves. Devin Booker, I think, should be close to that category. Chris Paul. I would take Donovan Mitchell easily over anybody else not named LeBron, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, and Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid. I think that's a really good category to be in. I would easily take him over anybody else in the league right now. And not only is it because of what the Utah Jazz do on the court, it's because of what Donovan Mitchell does for this team leadership-wise. It's because of what he's been able to do for Utah ever since he came to the team. Ever since he got drafted. He's been the best player on the team, and he's easily been probably their leader since day one. So at this point, I think, yeah, superstar is what we need to be calling Donovan Mitchell. I don't really know what else you call him, because putting him in the star category is the same category as Paul George. It's the same category as Zach LaVine. It's the same category as Karl Anthony Towns. It's the same category as Devin Booker. It's the same category as Damian Lillard. It's the same category as Anthony Davis. It's the same category as Kyrie Irving. Like I said, I would take Donovan Mitchell over any of those guys because of not only what he does offensively, scoring-wise, he's a dog defensively, and he's a great leader for this Utah team. Just look at their record. Just look at what he's done without another all-star on the team. You can say Rudy Gobert is an all-star. I wouldn't give it to you, but he is a Defensive Player of the Year. I'll give you that. With that being said, Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. There's no flirting around it. There's no pussyfooting here. He's a superstar. Let's just start calling him that.